My name is Pablo, Largo-Barrientos, and I work at the lab of Patrick Verstreken at KU Leuven. And I'm a postdoc in his lab, but I also did my PhD here, so I have been already together with Patrick for a while. And I always wanted to be a researcher since I was a kid. My parents both are researchers also, and I think it was always in my mind this necessity to understand how things work and also trying to help people that suffer from diseases. And in particular, the brain, which is the most complex organ that we have in our body, always was very fascinating for me. So it was always the goal of my research to understand how the brain works in health and disease, and of course try to find potential therapies to cure Alzheimer's disease. In our project, we are focusing at synapses. I think to cure Alzheimer's disease, first we have to understand how the brain works in an Alzheimer's disease patient, and specifically now we have techniques that allow us to look at single cell resolution, so we can look at individual cells and what's happening there. But in this project we go one step further and we look within the neurons, cells of our brain. We look at a specific part of the neuron, which is the synapse, and this is a super tiny structure, only 1 micrometer diameter in average, and it's very important because it's the point when a neuron communicates with another neuron and they make contact. So what we see in Alzheimer's disease brain is that these contacts, these synapses, are affected very early. So we think that if we want to cure Alzheimer's disease, we have to tackle specifically what's happening in these synapses. So what I'm doing in this project, very briefly, is to identify all the proteins that are inside this synapse that are changing in Alzheimer's disease, and I think these are potential targets. So we are going to screen for these targets in 2 separate and independent models that we have developed in the lab, and then we will develop an antisense oligotherapy against the most promising ones. And these are small molecules that can be injected in the brain, and they are approved by FDA to treat other disorders. I would like to take this opportunity also to thank all the donors from Stichting Alzheimer Onderzoek, because of course without all the support from them it would be impossible to do all the research in the lab.